All right, guys, welcome back from spring break. I know how excited you are to be back in school. Okay, just act excited for my benefit. Thank you. All right, today we're going to talk about congruence and transformations, and this is actually going to be a very quick unit. This should not take much of your time tonight at all. This first one, when we talk about congruence, we need to talk about what congruence is. So let's over here, let's just make a little definition of what congruence is, okay? Because this is going to be carrying you through this section and the next section. Congruent means that it's the same shape and it's the same size. It is identical, okay? For instance, if I took this finger and this finger, relatively they are the same shape, the same size, they are congruent, okay? Two things that are the same shape, same size. So let's look up here. It says this is R, and I want to know which of these four looks the same as R. Well, R has a row of big dots. Here's a row of big dots. Here's a row of big dots. So I know it can't be this one or this one because they don't have a row of big dots. And then it has little dot, little dot. Well, here I have little dot, little dot. Here I have big dot, little dot, big dot. So I know that my answer has to be W. Okay? And if I look at that, if I took this and I just flipped it over, that is the identical shape and size. I'm going to skip on because, like I said, this is a fairly easy unit to decide whether or not they're identical. Let's look at number 2. Well, if I look at number 2, here I go down 1, 2, 3, and there's my out square, the square that is to the side of it. So let me look here. From the top, I go down 1, 2, and then the square to the side of it. So this one I went down 3. This one I went down 2. So are these shapes identical? Well, the answer is no, because even if I flip this one over, would it lay exactly on top of this one and be identical? No. If the red one was flipped over, I would have a square right here, because that's where the red one has its square on the side, okay? So no, these are not congruent. Let's look up here. A and B, are these congruent to each other? Well, ask yourself, if I were to flip B over, would it look exactly the same as A? Yes, if I were to flip B on top of A, they would match up. So yes, they are congruent. They are the same shape and same size. If you're not sure about that, here's what you can do. Take a Kleenex, okay? Pull the Kleenex apart so that you just have one layer of Kleenex. And now, as you can see, I can see my A and I can see my B through there. Trace your B, and then flip it over and see if it fits on A to where they match up. And hopefully you can see, yes, they match up exactly. So my A and B were identical to each other. Okay? Now let's look at this red one to this green one. Well, again, I'm going to take the Kleenex, trace the red one, just the outline of it. You don't have to do the whole thing. Okay? And now I'm going to flip it to where it would be if I were the green one. And line it up. Do they line up? Well, if I look closely, here is the square on the green one. Here is the square on the red one. So do they line up? No, they are not congruent because the squares are off. And I can see that further because between this one and this one, there is only one square. Between this one and this one, there are 2 squares. That's why they are not congruent. Okay? All right, guys, that's really all that there is to it. So the other thing that we can ask is what transformation? Well, if I look at this, if I go from this one to this one, what transformation, and remember transformations are dilation, which we're not going to use because dilation is when you change the sides of it, so you're not going to use dilation. But you can use rotation, reflection, or translation. Those are the three that I can use to describe what I do between this. So on this one, first of all, I'm going to do in order to flip it down, I'm going to do a reflection. Okay, and if I did a reflection, then it would look something like this. And again, I'm just doing this quickly. Okay, and then I have to move it this way and up slightly. In order to slide it this way and up, then it's a translation, because translation means to slide. So I'm going to slide it to the right, because I went from here over to here. And then I went from here up. So it was a reflection and then a translation to the right and up. All right, guys, that's really all that there is to it. If you have any questions, just let us know. Make sure you write them in your column. Have a great night. Talk to you later.